Hello, and welcome back to episode 17 of the Career Advice You Never Had podcast, where I provide you the career advice, education, and support you missed out on in your career journey. I'm your host, Angela, a career counsellor, and today's episode is about exploring your career interests. We'll be looking into what they are, how you can identify them, and use them to help you make satisfying career decisions. So stick around to find out more, and remember to share this with a friend who is looking for some career inspiration. Thanks for listening today. I love hearing your stories and experiences about each episode, so keep them coming. Now, let's get into it. Ever since I can remember, I've followed my interest when it comes to my career. I found it much easier in high school to use this approach to help make decisions. My interests have taken me on a unique and non-linear career path. Once I let them take the lead. It wasn't until I studied career development that it made sense why interests played such a big part in my career decision making. My hope is that by breaking down what a career interest is, you can also gain an understanding and insights into your decision making and seeing how much of an influence they play for you. When it comes to your career, there are many factors that influence a career choice, that being values, personalities, skills, strengths, the pay, environment, culture, location, your priorities, your stage of life, your situation, and your interests. A career choice is likely to be made from a combination of these factors. John Holland, a leading career theorist of career choice and also a well-known model called RIASEC, developed this as a tool to help identify your top 2 to 3 interest themes. I like to think of career choices like a puzzle, and interests are one piece. In general, an interest is something that engages your attention. It excites our curiosity, and it's described as a feeling of wanting to know or learn about something. A career interest represents preferences for certain types of tasks when it comes to career activities. Interests are what keeps us motivated and energized. With a clear understanding of our interests and taking them into account, this can have a significant impact on our job satisfaction and employment levels. Holland's RIASEC model identifies 6 dimensions or interests that guide us to understand more about our preferences and the types of careers that satisfies these various interests. The 6 dimensions are realistic, someone who likes mechanical activities, athletics, working with your hands, being outdoors, getting dirt in your fingernails. Investigative enjoys asking intellectual questions, investigating answers to those questions, and using scientific methods. Artistic seeks opportunities for self-expression, writing, music, drama, dance, and enjoys a lack of clear procedures. Social likes to help others, teach, guide, counsel, and being of service. Enterprising likes persuading, leading, risk-taking, and action-orientated. Conventional, organized, detail-orientated, flows, rules, and procedures, and really loves working with data. Do any of those 6 interests resonate with you? Let's keep exploring your interests through reflective questions and activities. If I were to ask you what interests you, what comes to mind? What do you find yourself gravitating to in your spare time or longing to be doing? When you're interested in something, what does that look like and feel like? When you are not interested in something, what happens? An interest can be something that you enjoy doing or could potentially become much more than that. Jim Athanasiou suggests there is a strong link between interest and ability, especially when it comes to career interests. This is relevant to achievement and potential of a person, which influences work satisfaction. What that means is if you like doing what you're doing and you're good at it and also recognized for it, it makes us feel happy. What was also interesting when researching this topic is that interest, when making a career decision, is often one of the factors that is first sacrificed to achieve one's goal and to take a job based on other features. Interest reflects our potential, our natural talents, our aptitudes. It embodies our values, accumulated knowledge, and experience. Interests come in many forms. Career interests. academic interests, what we are interested to learn, and leisure preferences and hobbies, which is what you love doing in your spare time. Let's get really curious about your interests and explore all of them with no judgment or filter. You can do this through list making or mind mapping or both. I really love a good mind map, and this is where I find I gravitate to if my thoughts are swirling around and a bit too messy for journaling. Mind mapping is where you take that blank sheet of paper, you write a word, for instance, interest in the center, put a circle around it, and draw lines coming out from this center circle, adding interests as they come to mind from that starting point. So it almost looks like a bit of a spider's web. Keep expanding each interest with whatever comes to mind, and that's how you grow your mind map. With your blank sheet of paper in front of you, begin to bring to mind your interests. And when you're ready, start jotting them down on the paper as a list, or you can create that mind map. And interests can be what you like doing with your time, TV shows you like to watch, websites you like exploring, people, places, things. It can also be something that's really special to you. Once you've exhausted all your interests and you've got them down onto your paper, place this aside, step away from it and leave it for a moment. Reflection time. Come back to your piece of paper and notice if anything really stands out to you. Look at the words that you put down. Is something grabbing your attention that you'd like to explore further? Is there any patterns or themes that you might notice? And then I'm going to get you to choose 3 colors, maybe highlighters, pens, colored pencils. And we're going to start categorizing your interests into 3 areas. Just like I mentioned before, there may be what you're interested to learn about, could be one color. What you'd like to earn money from can be another. And what you like doing in your spare time, so those hobbies could be another. So the 3 areas are learn, earn, and hobby. Highlight the words that you have on that page, giving them a category. You may also find a 4th or a 5th category. That's totally fine. Give them a name as well. And then we're going to keep exploring your career interests a bit further. You might like to continue on this bit of paper or start a new fresh page, because this one's all going to be about the ones that you'd like to earn money from. You can once again put in a list or a mind map and just sit for a moment and bring to mind all the career paths that you've traveled, even ones that you've considered or even just been a little bit interested in. And we're going to start to jot them down onto the paper. Aim for at least 10, and this could be as early as your childhood, your teens, right up until now. Write down any job title, if it's real or even if it's made up. There were probably many missed opportunities, roads untraveled, or crossroads along your career journey. Place them down on the paper. Once you've exhausted all your career interests, place this aside. Once again, step away. Leave it for a moment. Reflection time. Come back to that piece of paper and notice if anything once again stands out to you. Is there something grabbing your attention? And how did that list actually make you feel when you were doing it or reflecting now? And do you notice any patterns or themes? And let's go even further. With inspiration from Bill Burnett and Dave Evans from Designing Your Life in creating an Odyssey plan. Looking at your career interests that you have on your page, imagine that all of these careers no longer exist or are no longer an option and you had to choose something else. What would you actually be interested in? And yes, it's time to start dreaming big, go beyond what's safe and comfortable, and really let your imagination come up with something. What would you do to earn money instead? Can you place up to 5 options on your page? Then let this sit for a moment. You've just stretched yourself, so good on you. Grab a cup of tea or a coffee, stretch, take a breath outside, and then come back for reflection time. Now, with that page in front of you, notice if anything stands out. Is there anything grabbing your attention? And did creating these possibilities make you feel anything? We want to notice if any emotions arise, memories, and we're going to do one more exploration of your interests. You once again may like a new page or keep adding to your existing. Go with whatever feels right for you. There is no wrong way to do this. And I'd like you to imagine that overnight, all your current problems disappear and you woke up knowing money, time, resources were no object. Where would your interests take you? Where would you live? What would you be doing? Can you let your imagination take you there? I'm not saying that you're going to pack up your things and go do this tomorrow. Let your imagination free to dream and to come up with alternatives, as this is a really useful part of career exploration. Place all these options on your page and then let it sit for a moment. You just stretched yourself even further. Good on you. And when you're ready, reflect on the pages that you have created. Do you notice anything? Is anything calling out your attention? And has there been any emotional journey that you've gone through? What I've noticed about myself and working with people of all ages, interests are unique to us. Only you can determine what they feel like and mean to you. And over time, have your interests changed? And how have they changed? What do you know about your unique interests? And how do interests influence your career decisions? My hope is that you get to know more about yourself and what interests you now, keeping you up to date with yourself. And are there any patterns or connections or insights that you've gained by exploring more about your interests? And that brings us to the end of this episode about exploring career interests. I thank you for listening today. I'd love to know what your biggest takeaway from this episode was, and I truly hope you found this valuable. I'd love to hear your reflections and what resonated with you the most. And remember, share this episode with those who are looking for career inspiration, as there are many people who haven't had the career advice, education, and support that they've needed along their career journey. And that's what I'm here for. In future episodes, we'll be learning more about your skills and your strengths and role models. And yes, I've got more career stories coming. So once again, thank you for listening. Your support is amazing, and you are truly amazing. Together, let's navigate this journey as you find your way, rediscover yourself, and focus on taking the next meaningful step in your career.